All right, hello everyone. Let's try to launch Xcode. If you come to this application, then there's Xcode. So I'm going to start Xcode. The one that we need to do is get started with a playground. Click it. Let's do blank on iOS. Okay, not tvOS, not macOS, but iOS. Next. And then you can name it so that I can say in class 19S1. All right. All right. This is playground. Let's make it good size. Then you can see this. Okay. First, the variable stl um, is given. All right. So as you said, here we have an editor, and what you can see here that is that gives you what's inside the memory. And if you click up here, then you can see the debug area so that you can see this. All right. If you want to execute whatever you have in here in this edit, then you can say uh, command button shift and return X. Then you can see this, right? Um, According to the slide, let's see, we have a variable name equals 10, and then the constant uh, number is defined. If you want to make a variable, then you need to declare a variable. If it is number, if it is a constant, then you need to declare let number equal say mercy. Well, actually, it doesn't make sense, but let's see what happens, right? Name, I want to say that that is 10, number that is 10, right? What I mean by having this is that this guy does not know what you mean by this, right? This is just name, okay? Your identifier. So in the programming, whatever identifier you put here is for you to understand. It is not really understood by the computer. Although it says name, if you think number 10 is a name, then there is a name. And then the string M-E-R-C-Y, mercy is, if you want to call it number, then there is a number. All right. This the playground and any computer language are not language itself is not really intelligent. Okay, but you need to make it intelligent. Um, um, so, but if you want to say, if you want to do implicitly, for example, um, number, I want to make it double. Okay, and then if you say cyber, then there is an error because you implicitly say number is a constant, but I want to say that it's a double. Double is like a floating number. it should have a 1 point whatever that is, right? It's not an integer but floating number. So if you say 100, then still that is invalid. It's not double. But if you say 100 and 100.0, invalid declaration of a number. Oh, there's mainly because we already had here a number, but if we have another, then that's what it meant. So yeah, let's say a number. A number then is double if we say 100, but the size of that this the constant, this identifier is 100. If we want to print a number, then it'll print, and then you can say this. Thing here is this: if we want to print name, all right. If we print name, then 10 that is written here. But if you print a number, although you put 100, or even if you put 110, I mean 10, all right? Even if you say 10, if it is printed, it is a floating point, 0. That is because you explicitly declared a number, right? More, if we had b number, another number, and if we say 10, and then if you say this b number, still difference here is that you give the same value to the constant identifier, but as far as you put here explicit type double, then it treats 10 as a double. Therefore, you need to have decimal points, like a floating number. Okay, that's what it has. So if you can declare the type explicitly. Okay. The next slide say let label equals cyber, let's say. And if you want to do label, say 2, see what happens. There's a problem because this is a constant identifier and you declare it let, you cannot use it as we looked at. So it should be different. So let's say level 2. And then if you want to do, I want to make a let security level, like now I want to concatenate level plus label plus label, okay? Then there is a problem, as you can see here. This is a plus sign. We cannot, for example, if you want to say 4 plus 2, then we know that is 6, right? It's not a problem. And let's put this up here. So 4 plus 2, that'll be okay. print 4 plus 2, then we can see the result of that, right? But right now, this is a string. This is a number. String plus string, it should work. So if we have here, instead of number 2, but string 2, then it should work, right? There's no problem. There's no error messages. Now we can see here, right? This is not updated. This debugger side. It is slow. It's still okay. Sometimes it takes time, right? So don't be frustrated. This the output area or debugger area is not really updated yet. Here memory should work, right? Rather than wait, let's keep doing. So if it is not string but number, then string plus number, it doesn't make sense, right? Plus sign will work. Plus sign is a binary operator, which means the 2 operands needed. So 4 plus 2, then this plus sign is the adder in mathematics. But on the other hand, if you have a string like cyber plus, then 2 strings are, if there is a plus sign and in both the sides, left and right, both are string, then it will be treated as a concatenator. Okay, so both sides, if we have a number, then that is the adder. Both sides, if we have strings, then strings are joined together. Strings are concatenated. But it doesn't make sense at one side if you have a string, at another side a number. Then this plus sign doesn't mean any one or the other, right? So you need to make it more clearly, because this left-hand side is already string. This string cannot be converted to integer, right? So what you can do here, you can say string and convert it explicitly, all right? And then run it. Then now you know, right? This is fully updated. This number 6 comes from this. And then if you say print sec label this, less sec level, then it'll be like this. If you want to make space in between, then you need to make explicitly a space. So 3 strings are joined together. 3 strings are concatenated. Label, there's a cyber, and then we have 1 white space, plus level, this is number, but you convert that number to string, then that is nothing but within quote number 2. Okay, so it works like that. So we have cyber space 2, as we can say here, right? Another, for example, if you say let and then number 10, and if you say 1 0, and then you can say let or variable compute equals 10 plus 2. See what happens. And there is an error, right? This is string. This is number. So now, if we put here, rather than 2, we can say level. Still, we have same error messages, right? So this is nothing but number 2. Therefore, if you change it, if you convert that to string, it should work. But what if you want to do the other way? Okay, I want to make this, say, integer. So that this could be worked as an adder operator. But 10 itself is this. Computer does not know 1 0 within string. It is really convertible to integer. If it is a cyber, then cyber cannot be converted to integer. But to human, we know that is 1 0, so it could be number 10. We know for sure, right? But this programming itself does not know. It could be, or not necessarily, right? So you need to make sure that it works only if there is a value, so that you can say exclamation mark, then it should work, right? And then if you put print comp, then we execute it, then it is added, right? 10 in string is converted to real integer. We know we want to make sure that it's not really optional value, but that is it, clear explicit value. Therefore, we can add it to a real integer value called the label. Okay, so it'll be 12, as you can see there. Okay, what's right? Another thing, in this case, level, sec level, I want to make it a little different. Say that let sec level equals, I want to put everything. Here we use this concatenator. The other one here is that I want to put here level, and then I have a space, and then level. How can you make this? Okay, this is sec level 2, and then print sec level 2, then it returns label level. That's not what I want. Not this label as a string, but I want to evaluate label. If you want to do that, then you need to have a backslash within parentheses. Okay, so backslash within parentheses. Then it'll be evaluated. Label is not anymore label, but it goes back to somewhere. If it is defined, then we need to evaluate it. By the way, it is defined. This is identifier label. So if it is evaluated, then what it contains will be returned. So instead of label, it is returned. Label here also, I want to put this level, okay? In that case, you need to say here again, level. Okay, so that you will have that. This is a level. In this case, you don't need to say this, right? You don't need to see if it is a string because you already put it in string. Everything is under the double quote. So everything inside that is a string, right? You don't need to worry about. Let's see if we have another level 2, and then we can say there's 3. Okay, so I want to add level plus two. All right. So let's try to see if it works in this way. Let's say level and level 2 are added. Okay. So this backslash is so-called backslash is on escape character. Okay, which means everything in this string there's an error. So that is this means that is escape. Okay. So if we have a double backslash, then that is what is this? Was this correct? No. I want to make these comments, but they don't work in that way. All right. So it works. This is escaper, escape character, and then this within the parenthesis, then inside that is evaluated. So level there's number 2, level 2 that is number 3. So evaluated, and further evaluation is we have a number and another number there, right? This is a number, that is a number. In between, if you have a plus sign, then that is adder. So altogether, that is evaluated. So it'll be not 2 plus 3, but the evaluation of 2 plus 3, which is 5. So 5 is returned. Okay? I think that is related to your homework assignment.